on our first 10 o'clock live stream of, well, we're trying something new here. I want to talk a little bit about a lot of things today. First off, it looks to me that Indy 5 is definitely going to start filming next week. There is a story that Karen Allen is going to be in Britain, in London in July. So I think Marion will be in for a little bit. I'm not gonna sit there and do a dance that she's gonna be there through the whole shoot, but she's coming in, I would say, about halfway through. All right, Troy. So we'll see, but it's happening. It is happening. Now, what it's gonna be about? Well, we got Mads Mikkelsen reportedly playing one of the scientists that we brought over from Operation Paperclip after World War II. You guys, if you know anything about history, you know about the V-2 rockets. Towards the end of the war, when the Germans realized they were losing, they, instead of attacking Britain with their non-existent Luftwaffe, especially since now the entire island was pretty much patrolled by the U.S. Army Air Force and the RAF, they started using buzz bombs. They call buzz bombs, the V-2 rocket. And they weren't guided. They pretty much would fire and land somewhere in London, okay? And that's it. I mean, that's what happened. That's what they did. And, a lot of, United Kingdom citizens were killed by those things. And they were so impressive, I guess, the range that they had, that both the United States and Soviet Union wanted those scientists. And if you know anything about the US space program, the guy behind it was one of those scientists named Wernher von Braun. And he was basically behind one of the rockets that we use to, for our space program, and including the moon landing. There's a great scene in the movie The Right Stuff where they were talking about the Soviets, and they talked about Yuri Gagarin and hey H Boomer, and they were talking about the scientists, and one of the guys from NASA said, "Our scientists are better." Obviously, okay, obviously. Anyway, so we've got that going on, and so I don't know what it means, because I think the other guy, Thomas Kretschmann, pretty famous actor himself, he's obviously going to be playing a Russian, a Soviet spy, whatever. Now, Indy and him got to team up, or does Indy have to team up with the Soviet or the German? I don't know. We'll have to see. But oddly enough, they're starting to film at Bamberg Castle up in Surrey. Beautiful place with a great big huge throne that looks to be, in the designs on it are very, could play into the Arthurian legend. And it looks to me like there's going to be something about Excalibur in this. There could be two MacGuffins. I don't know. But reports are they're filming there. They're filming in Scotland. And they're going to be filming in Sicily, which is cool, and Tunisia, which we'll go back to where the Ark, we're going back to Egypt, and good old Salah. So, because John Rhys Davies is going to be in the movie. He's listed as a cast member. So, this is going to be fun. I mean, I haven't been this excited in a long time for anything. And I know quite a few people who are part Hey, Chris. Oh, you're in a work meeting right now. Okay. I hope I'm not interrupting your boss or anything. Anyway, this is going to be exciting because I said something on the Facebook page today, the Indiana Jones Facebook page, and I said, the thing about Indiana Jones is that it hasn't really been touched badly by Disney. And somebody posted that they were really getting sick of the criticisms. I'm going to tell you this. I have met more guys who are dickheads on that page than ever on the Star Wars page. It's really, or Star Wars fandom. It's really kind of weird. Yeah, I think I don't know though, old redneck nerd. I don't know. I think it's gonna have something to do with the connection to Last Crusade, which and to the Ark. Okay, there's something odd about all this, and it could be one of the MacGuffins could be Excalibur, and the other MacGuffin could be the Sword of Destiny, the Sword of Longinus. Okay, I don't know. But anyway, it's really weird. There are guys on there that will go after you if you're a woman for having a different opinion. It's very strange. And in Star Wars, no one gives a shit. I'm like, what the, I've been an Indiana Jones fan, you know, since the story was coming out that they were filming this thing. Because A, in 1976, when Egypt allowed Tut's treasures to come to the United States, I was able to go. I was 8 years old. I was with my mom, and she took me to the Field Museum in Chicago. I actually got to see the death mask of Tut and all that stuff, and it was really cool. And it got me interested in archaeology. It got me more interested in history, as if I couldn't have been more interested, but I was. So I kind of sat there and thought, I kind of sit here and think, you guys, the Facebook page is called Indiana Jones, and I'm actually a friend of the admins. But really, it's like and what's really interesting is they criticize Harrison Ford's age, but when you look at them, like typical fanboys, they're all overweight, they look unhealthy, they're kind of miserable looking dudes. Okay. So it's like, oh, I get it now. You know, it's just, they're really disrespectful. We get in arguments about who should play Indy again. And I think once this is over, I think that fedora should be hung up. If they want to do an Indiana Jones show for Disney streaming, howdy, that, you could do it animated. You could do it really cool animated, but they really don't need to do more movies. Okay, with a different actor. It wouldn't feel right. It's the same thing with Han Solo. It didn't feel, Alden Ehrenreich didn't look right. He didn't feel right. None of it felt right. Okay. So anyway, that's the indie news I have. So we can look forward to interesting things coming out of it. With James Mangold there and his crew, and Harrison Ford, and with Steven Spielberg, he's still producing and he's going to be there. It looks to me like the crew. Oh yeah, I know. I don't really care what Jay said. He's one of those people who doesn't want to believe anything good is happening. He's the one saying Gina's never going to come back. And it's like, well, if she doesn't, then I have nothing to do with her. I didn't, again, That character is a side character. What they did to her was wrong. But if Jon Favreau and, Disney reaches out to her after the bad guys are gone and she says, no, I'm done. I'm done. Okay. And the reason is this: as much as I like the character, she's not as important as, no Shia LaBeouf, as Carrie Fisher, Leia, as Han, and as Luke, and as Lando, as Billy D. Williams. So I'm kind of like, you know, I don't agree with him at all. I don't think he's looking at it properly. If he could say they were citing Doomcock, that's fine. They didn't say they were. Maybe he knows them. But I think he's trying to find an excuse to say nothing good is happening. And because, look, even if it happens, and this pisses me off. I mean, people like this piss me off because they don't want to listen. They don't know anything about money. They don't know anything about the fact that the investors are getting fucked right now. And one of the biggest problems with that, okay, fine, who cares? Why are you telling me this? I don't care what he thinks. I mean, I love Jay to death, but I can't deal with people like that. All right? I just, and the reason why is because they don't have any common sense. Okay? Again, let me finish. Now I'm getting pissed. If you are an investor in Disney and the company has to inflate their stock so they don't get took over, you're getting fucked right now. They have to do something. And the idea that they never would offer George an in is bullshit. Okay? That is bullshit. The idea that George, if he could come back and have a say in creative and a financial stake, then he would say no. That's them saying they don't want to do it because they hate Disney and they don't really care about the franchise and they don't care about Lucasfilm. And they're not investing in those companies. Guess what? I am probably. I haven't looked at what our 401ks are doing. I don't really care. I don't look at that. But I could be, and I could be getting screwed. Do you think I like that? Do you think that maybe Bob Chapek owes the investors a little more than a song and dance? Do you think maybe trying to get George Lucas back might be a good fucking thing to do? I mean, you can't look at it through your goddamn eyes. Just because, and I really think Jay has a problem with Doomcock anyway. And, then again, he goes on Midnight's Edge and they start saying, well, we've heard the same rumors about X, Y, and Z. What's he gonna do? What's he gonna do when Clownfish TV reports the same thing? All right, it's not just Doomcock. Okay, I have been hearing the rumor that George was coming back for 2 years. All right, it comes out, it goes away. It comes out, it goes away. All right, he's got to stop trying to basically damp people's enthusiasm. Okay, and he's got to start thinking practically, pragmatically, like a business person. Okay, I mean, if any of our investments are tied up with Disney, I'm getting fucked. We're getting fucked. Okay, and part of it's because of Kathleen Kennedy. I'll make it personal. If you have money invested, ask anybody who does the money stuff on this. And it's invested in Disney, you are taking it up the butt. Okay? And it's not fun. All right? And part of the reason is what's going on with Lucasfilm. They could be, they could have done a much better job than they have. And the reason they didn't is because they had a woman who didn't realize that as much as Bob Chapek and Bob Iger are responsible to me and you if you're an investor, that she is too. And oh, everybody that works at Lucasfilm is also responsible. All right? That's how you have. Oh, I know. If he comes back, and I have no reason not to believe that he would. And I'm not, I mean, God bless him, Jay, but you got to stop. I mean, do whatever you want, but tamping down people's enthusiasm because you just don't like the idea of him coming back, which is basically what it is ridiculous, okay? You know, we've got a lot of people who are black-pilled, and I can't deal with people like that. I would be dead if I was like that, all right? I wouldn't be here. I mean, all right, if I, just gave up and took my toys and went home. You can't live life like that. You can't. Anyway, but thanks for telling me, Troy. I basically told Jay off on that video too, because he's basically projecting himself on George Lucas. He's not thinking. Okay, there has to be a possibility that it's true. And when you see all the public smoke signals going on that are basically confirming what the rumors we've been hearing about from everybody, in a way, I mean, even Cameron, who actually does have a connection to Hollywood, who is a producer, said he predicted 4 years ago that Lucas would buy back Lucasfilm, in a way. All right? I put my money on Cameron. I'm not putting my money on angry people that are hurt because they didn't like what happened to Luke in The Last Jedi. You never hear them complaining about what happened to Han because they believe all the bullshit. You never hear them complaining about what happened to Leia. No, they have to cancel everything. Hey, Maze, they have to cancel everything. I mean, it's just no. It's just they're going into phase 2 in the High Republic, and it's like, it's just really funny how all this is shaking out. I mean, we're on June 3rd, and things are changing, and you can feel it. We found looks like two troll accounts by Pablo, and one was already attacking Doomcock. Why is he doing that? Why? He's trying to figure out how much he knows. And this troll account retweeted one of Doomcock's the tweet about the Batman thing, complaining about it. Oh, I know, Daryl, and that's the problem. My thing is, and there's a point here, the squealing fanboys didn't give a shit until it was Luke. And they should have given a shit with TFA. All right? I'm going to say this again. The Force Awakens was a shit show. It was a shitty movie. Okay? You can't defend it. It's not worthy of defense. All right? When you've got people out there not saying a word about TFA and then shitting themselves over TLJ, it's like, I could have seen this coming. I didn't want to believe it, but there it was. Because we all looked at Ryan Johnson thinking he was actually going to fix what JJ broke. And instead, he took the smashed pieces and made them worse. I mean, he ended up saying how high the rubble could bounce. Oh, I know. That would have been great to be able to see Chewie actually do that. And then JJ had to come back and try to put the pieces together of the dumpster fire he made. And none of it has anything to do with anything George Lucas made. Oh, when Han was butchered like a dog on the catwalk by his piece of shit asshole son, I was so enraged. The women in front of me were pissed and yelled and started crying. I yelled, "Chewie, kill that faggot." The little kid behind me was all upset, and he and his dad were walking out, and he goes, "Why did he do that to his dad?" And his dad was just, you know, you don't do that to characters like that. I don't care about anybody's wishes if they're actors. You don't do that. Oh, I know, and it wasn't the same jacket. The same jacket would have been the one from Empire, and he lost that, you know, and ended back on the Falcon, but he wasn't wearing it. I actually, you can actually see that there was a show at the Space Museum in San Diego of all of their museum there, of all the costumes from the movies, and that jacket, yeah, I think, or maybe it wasn't that jacket, but so the first costume from A New Hope, Han's first costume was there. Leia's, the dress that she wore at the end. And I didn't get to go see it. I wish I had. But anyway, you know, you have to look at it again with a pragmatic eye. It's about money. It is not about how you feel. It is not about how angry you are that Gina got screwed. Okay. First off, she wasn't fired. They basically made it public that she wasn't coming back. All right, because she didn't have a contract. Mazarus is right. Mazarus is right. All right, she didn't have a contract signed. All right, they're probably in negotiations, and you know they were just waiting for her to do something that would legitimately allow them to say we're not going to work with her anymore. That's all that was. Okay. I mean, I love Gina. Okay, I just spent 90 fucking dollars on one of her figures, for Christ's sakes. But that being said, I am not going to get upset and take my toys and go home over all this. And I'm not going to get upset and take my toys and go home over Luke Skywalker. This is a fight. This is a fucking war. This is a battle. We have to fight it and we have to win it. Okay? And it's being won. But there are a lot of people out there who shall remain nameless who would rather take victory or take defeat out of the jaws of victory to make themselves feel better and to make sure their channels get clicks. Because it's all clickbait. I just unsubbed from a young guy. He had to be, 25, 22 years old, who every day, I mean, it was like watching a more coherent Mike Zero. But one day he'd say one thing, one day he'd say the other. I'm like, are you gonna be consistent in what you're telling people, or are you just throwing shit up there for clicks? Now, the kid's got more subscribers than I do. I don't care about that. I care about consistent messaging and trying to figure out what the hell is going on. And there's a lot out there. Oh, I know, Mazers. I know. It's just, first off, she wouldn't do that. Second of all, it's Ryan Johnson, not really understanding anything. He just, I mean, anyway, you can't look at all the stuff happening and not see a profound change is occurring at Lucasfilm without Doomcock stuff, without Andre and Tom, without Clownfish, without that and the other thing, without Cameron. You cannot look at that and think that. Oh yeah, I remember. And a lot of these people who are saying he's not coming back are prequel haters because they don't want him back. They were hurt by midichlorians. What the fuck? It's like, what the, So I look at that and think, I don't really care what people are saying. They're not taking into account what we know in public. They're not listening to Cameron. They're not listening to, they're not looking at the money. I mean, again, I've said this before, I'll say it again. What do you think? Disney has a money orchard out in the back, and Iger and Chapek go out there every day with baskets, pulling out $1,000 bills out of the trees? You think that's not how it works? Yeah, well, those fans who did that, if you go on any of the Facebook pages, like the Doomcock Army Facebook page or whatever, they do show up and attack George, still to this day. It's like, you know what? Go away. Part of the reason why we're in this mess is because of people like them. I know, and it's like they didn't. They didn't even like Star Wars to begin with, I don't think. And you can't possibly look at the prequels and the reaction of the critics. You can't look at that and think a lot of that stuff was engineered by people who hate Lucas in the media and in Hollywood. Okay? That's the thing. That's the thing. All right, and these idiots just follow along, mouth breathing little piss ants. And it's like, you're not, I mean, even George said, I know, they're not fans, and they didn't understand why they were doing it. And I'll tell you something, Ahmed Best said that it wasn't the fans who caused him so much trouble, it was the media. I mean, it wasn't the fans who bullied Jake Lloyd, it was the media, all right? And, a lot of those people they're at fault, and trust me, they don't want to hear about it. They don't want to know. They didn't do anything wrong, according to them, okay? All right, okay. So here's the thing, all right? When we're talking about what's going on at Lucasfilm, and you take into account that first Forbes article, and understand that was a bomb being dropped on Kennedy, okay? And she took it that way. The guy who wrote it left Twitter. He put it out there and he left Twitter. There is a signal right there. You can't find him there anymore. We go to the Vanity Fair, the Variety article. Why do I always get them mixed up? And it's basically another move of 4D chess by somebody at Disney, setting it up without saying it, that Kennedy's gone, she's done, okay? And that they're going to a distribution model. Oh yeah, well, no, the fade-in came after Gina was let go. I mean, it literally was right after, like the day after. And the Variety article basically told Hollywood Lucasfilm is getting new management. Then we have the Filoni thing. Again, if you are such an airhead and an idiot that you can actually believe the excuse that we forgot to change it, you forgot to change the leadership thing on the website for a fucking year? Are you kidding me? Bullshit. Okay? Bullshit. Reason is this. You don't do that. You don't do that. It was set up when they did that deliberately as an announcement without being a press release. Okay? They didn't do a press release, they just did that. That's a BFD right there. Okay, that is not small potatoes. It's BFD. And then we've got Indiana Jones being moved up to start filming tomorrow and next week. Why did they move it up? How long is the shoot going to be? 4 months? Because in 4 months, that's the end of Kennedy's contract. All right? And they were going to let her have that before she left. You know, I looked at the pictures of Harrison already. He's already there. And he looks good. He looks ready to go. I mean, in between you guys and me, he looks better, a lot better and a lot healthier than, I'd say 90% of the fat fanboys out there. Okay? I mean, he really does. I mean, he looks amazing. So what else? Okay, let's go further. So we got that. Then we got the rumors. We've got, Andre basically saying that, he's talked to people that are basically saying the same thing that Doomcock has been saying. Then we got Walt Disney World Pro saying the same thing. Then I've been hearing things, and you got Cameron jumping in. If you can sit there and say there isn't any smoke and there isn't anything to these rumors, you're an idiot. You're a fucking idiot, okay? You don't, or you're trying to use confirmation bias. Yeah, he does. I mean, I don't, the guys are doing the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles thing. And yesterday on Midnight's Edge, and I'm like, I first off, I could care less. Second of all, Seth Rogen is an idiot. And I would love to see him get into the octagon with Joe Rogan and see who come out. Joe Rogan would maul him. I mean, Seth Rogen is a slob. He's just a slob. He's just like Kevin Smith. It's just whatever. Anyway, what else is going on? What else is I going to talk about? So, I don't really hold much, I don't really look at the naysayers as having really anything to stand on. If Jay says, Gina doesn't talk about Star Wars to him, okay. I don't know why he's even mentioning Lucas. It's just to piss people off, I think. I mean, I really do think that people out there really, like I said, don't want good things to happen. They really, really don't. And, they think they're realists and they're pessimists. They've been black-pilled. It might not be their fault, but black-pilling the rest of us just because whatever, you need to stop it, okay? Because we can't, you can't go through life like that. I mean, here's the deal. 2 weeks ago, did anybody think in the world that Tony Fauci's emails were going to get leaked? And why did they get leaked? And yes, guess who was quietly and not announced been reinstated on Facebook? Donald Trump. He's back on there. You can go on his page. He hasn't posted. He hasn't posted on Instagram, but he is back. They've given him his thing back. Black pill kind of means that nothing good ever happens, that even if you've got good news, they're going to find a way to crap all over it. Okay, so what's happening? And why is Facebook doing this? This is interesting news. This is good news. This is good. Because a lot of people who've been saying this is bullshit, now we find out it really was bullshit. And guess who was involved with trying to suppress questions about what's been going on? Mark Zuckerberg. It's very interesting. The fact that now the Democrat Party in Arizona is saying, yeah, there were ballots that were wrong. And now we've got the Biden administration out loud asking about the Wuhan lab. Everything, the truth will out all the time. That's what happens. Okay. I feel stupid for getting the Moderna shot. I got both of them. So far, I haven't grown a horn or anything, but, I really don't think there's anything in them, to be honest. I mean, it hurt. The first one, I felt a little bit icky. The second one, I felt a little bit icky. And then it went away. All right. My husband, he woke up with the chills, the second Pfizer shot, for about 20 minutes, and then it went away. All right. I don't really think there's anything to them. But still, I mean, you've got, and I think Fauci's going to end up in prison. I do. A lot of people have been hurt. He did a lot of damage to the country. All right. And what I worry about is the Democrats and the media trying to tie Trump into Fauci, and Trump wanted to fire him, if I remember right. Okay. He wanted to fire him. So, watch. But watch what happens. But still, you can't sit there and say speculating on this stuff when we have what we have in the public is bad. Oh, good. And that's good, H Boomer. That's good. You can't look at this stuff like that. I mean, you see something in the public and you hear some backroom talk, inside baseball stuff. And what you see in the public is kind of coinciding neatly with and dovetailing into what you hear. There's smoke there. And there's a lot of smoke going on right now. Here's the deal. Pablo Hidalgo is now talking about how great G.I. Joe toys were compared to Star Wars. First off, why would an anti-American, anti-military slimeball like him be talking about G.I. Joe anyway? I don't know. But he's got that on his Twitter account. There are two, pretty sure they could be him, 50-50, they might be, Twitter accounts that have attacked people on his threads and also are attacking Doomcock. If you tell me he doesn't know what he's talking about, and you've got people who are directly attached to Pablo or our Pablo attacking Doomcock and using the Batman rumors, I mean, why would they even care? Because they're trying to figure out who is tweaking them, who and what we know. They're trying to figure out what people know. All right? They are. And it's like stunning in my mind that people can't see what's happening with any clarity. And again, when you look at all of this, it is not what a person says. It is what they do that tells you what's really going on. Okay? And there's a lot of smoke. There's a lot of smoke on all this, including the Lucas rumor. Okay, say what you want, I don't care. But to sit there and outright poo-poo it is bullshit, all right? Because, again, there are fans out there, and I'm not going to name them, who don't look at Disney's financial. Yeah, he's been very accurate about a lot of Star Wars shit. And, you can't deny that. Thank you, Mad. You really, really can't. Because if you do that, well, Robert Pattinson was a bad idea, in my opinion. I'm not a DC fan. My last Batman experience was Christopher Nolan. Hey, House Atreides, and I loved those movies. I absolutely loved Heath Ledger. I couldn't believe him. I'm not a fan of Ben Affleck. I've never liked him. I've always questioned who really wrote Good Will Hunting. Was it him and Damon, or was it Howard Zinn, who was their neighbor? The big commie bastard who wrote A People's History of the United States, which is basically textbook for critical race theory. Okay? Garbage. Dumpster fire. The guy was a Nazi. I didn't say the N-word. Okay? I did not say that. I said A-Z-I. Okay? And, just a slime ball of whatever. I don't really care about, a lot of people get into it, and I understand. It's a cultural thing. People like it, that's fine. And there have been a lot of really bad people hurting DC in the comics. There have been a lot of people hurting Marvel. There are a lot of people right now hurting Star Wars in the comics. That piece of shit comic book, Bounty Hunters 1, I defy you to find a comic book shop open that would actually have that thing, by the way, is out. And apparently, Han Solo in Carbonite's a fucking MacGuffin. And all these assholes are chasing Boba Fett around. He loses Han, and they turn him into a bumbling idiot. I mean Boba Fett. Boba Fett. They wonder why they can't sell comics anymore. Yeah, I don't, I don't like the Planet of the Apes movies just because I'm a Charlton Heston fan. And they didn't need to be made. I don't like remakes, reboots, and I really don't like yeah, I mean, he actually, he should have actually played Kylo Ren, because when he croaked, he could have sparkled, I'm talking about Robert Pattinson. But anyway, this is, there's stuff going on. There really is. I feel way different. Well, would have worked, Mazarus. Think about it. He dies and he sparkles, because that's where all these assholes came from. These fucking Raylos. They came from fucking Twilight, and the old fat bats who, stalk Adam Driver came from 50 Shades of Mommy porn. I care about that. I want, So I'm on that one. Interestingly, that Trollolo video I posted of Ryan Johnson singing the Trollolo song has gotten over 1,000 views. Right? Just, I mean, just to mock him, and it got over. It's 10 seconds, if that. It's funny AF. Okay, it's funny. Okay, that is just. I'm like, okay. But anyway, and that's the first time in a long time I've had something like that happen. Maybe I'll do more of them. Mocking the denizens of the failed Kennedy era at Lucasfilm. But we just gotta see what happens because, I hate to break it to people, but there's something definitely going on at Lucasfilm. There is. There, you know, Pablo sounds defeated. He's talking about G.I. Joe now. When he talked about, I've been at this job for 20 years. I don't know what Kennedy's plans are. It's over, whether you want to believe it or not. And you don't have to be an English major to read the subtext. You don't. It's there, okay, right there in front of your face. He said it, and I'm pretty sure, and I don't really know if he understands that he let the cat out of the bag. But he did. But we just gotta see. We just have to see. Kennedy will get her gold watch, her parade, her accolades, but everybody in Hollywood knows that she's a fucking failure. And they're gonna let it happen. They're gonna let her go with her public reputation kind of intact, knowing full well the fans were waiting with pitchforks and torches to go after her, okay? Especially after what they did to Gina. Here's the deal. You couldn't have set this up, they couldn't have set themselves up more brilliantly. Putting that out there about Gina's interview, even though I disapprove of her going to Ben Shapiro because I don't want to see her put herself into the conservative ghetto. Then we've got Kennedy's video getting ratioed into oblivion. Then we've got the Forbes article, which came out like 3 weeks, a month later. Then we've got the Variety article, and we've got Filoni's promotion. It doesn't take a person very much brain power to go, hey, what's going on? And then you've got the rumors from Doomcock, the stuff that the guys have been saying, Midnight's Edge, Cameron's offerings, and the stuff from Walt Disney World Pro. Oh, and that Reddit leak. That was Kennedy out there basically kissing Jon Favreau's ass. You don't think he's going to take over? She just said he was. That's what that says. Okay. It's not like if you're the president of Lucasfilm that you can't dabble in other things while you're doing that. Okay. George Lucas had many different things he was doing when he ran Lucasfilm. He came up with the Indiana Jones under the banner of Lucasfilm. Favreau can make his food cooking show on Netflix. He can do a lot of stuff like that. But if he's the boss, Yeah, Age Boomer, that was called The Children of Blood and Bone. And look, here's the deal. The show channels, like Star Wars Direct and others, can sit there and say that is going to happen. They can sit there and say the Acolyte's going to happen, but it's not. They're not. They're Disney. You could be in development hell for the rest of your life. Okay, that's where they are. And oh yeah, that was yeah, you're right, Maze, on that one. So there's absolutely no reason to not believe that it's happening. You're right. You're right, Maze. You know, there's absolutely nothing that if you don't believe it, fine. But there's no reason not to, okay? When you look at everything publicly that we see coming, okay? You know, it's really interesting how a lot of truth is coming out too. Like the guys at Echo Base put out that video about the reaction video to Luke, and one of the reactions they got is Steele Saunders bawling his fucking eyes out. This was a guy who basically would do anything for a YouTube click or a site hit. Kissed Ryan Johnson's ass. Your Snoke Theory sucks stickers, those were his. They came from him, okay? Bawling his eyes out. All right. I'm gonna say something. Do you think maybe he was lying? Do you think a lot of these people, except for maybe Star Wars Explained, do you think a lot of these people were lying about how much they like TLJ? Yeah. Why? Because they wanted their perks. Perks. Okay? And when the actual real Star Wars comes out and it's Luke Skywalker and it's the way he's supposed to be seen, their real feelings show. Oh yeah, well, that was another thing. He wouldn't lose the Falcon, and of course, they had to do a backstory on that about how it happened. It's like, everything they've done has just been a giant joke. Please hit the like button, and if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe too. Anyway, it was just a massive troll against all the fans everywhere. I mean, that's what it was. Okay, massive, massive, massive troll for that. Oh, okay, it's laggy. I'm sorry. But it's really interesting to me watching these people now kind of come out. Oh yeah, you're right, old redneck nerd. I mean, that was it. That's what you're right, Han. Yeah. And it's really interesting to me how these people can sit there and defend something that they didn't like for perks from Disney. That's why. I mean, let's put it this way. Steele Saunders would not have been on the red carpet of whatever movie it was to say hi to Harrison Ford. He would have been in the press pool at Star Wars Celebration to bother Daisy about Ray Blow. Okay, just wouldn't have. If he hadn't have, smoked Disney's pole. All right, kiss their ass. And that really fucking pisses me off because that is ultimately phony AF. I don't like phony crap. I don't. And that was really offensive to me when I saw him bawling like a baby over Luke. I'm like, but you hate him. What the hell is the last 5 fucking years have been? Steal. See? That's why people like that are bad. Okay. And now you're seeing cracks in that. Now you're seeing people go, well, it really wasn't that good. You know, they're not going to come out and say it for sure until they see Kennedy carried away on a sedan chair. And they no longer have to deal with, you know, their contacts inside Lucasfilm. And then they'll be, oh, I hated it. Then you go back and find all their tweets, their videos saying how much they enjoyed it. And it's like, really? Really, Mr. Authentic and Genuine? Okay, not. So it's going to be very interesting, all of this. But as far as, going back to Lucas, not coming back and it only being from Doomcock, again, I give no fucks where Inside the Magic got their info. I have no fucks to give on that. I'm a koala in the rain. Okay. On that. There's no reason why Disney wouldn't at least approach him for that. And it would be the absolute smartest move to get him back. Because the fans that are like this will be like, because then you're going to get the heart and soul back in Star Wars. You're going to get all the good stuff from it. And that is the most important thing. Okay? And that means money for Disney, and they're starving for money. All right. Again, the thing that drives me nuts, what is it? If you're a fan and you haven't crossed the Rubicon and do, what exactly does this mean financially? If you don't do that, you don't have any say. You have to know what the money is. Oh yeah, but Kevin Smith cries when his dogs take a dump. I mean, he's just a piece. Well, you would add your strong, independent female character with Darth Talon. And that's the bottom line. The idea that George never created a strong, independent character is insulting. Female character is insulting. Leia, who didn't have to hit anybody. And, they demote her to general because being a princess is so bad. F right off. Okay, just F right off. I'm done. Okay, I don't want to hear it. Anyway, I'm gonna rock because I got 1 more minute left because I gotta take the dog to the kennel because we're gonna be in and out all weekend. The World War II fly-in is gonna happen this weekend, and we're gonna go and we'll be gone all day. I don't want to leave him in the kennel. He can't come with us, obviously. And then the next morning, we're driving out to go sporting clay shooting. Well, he just put it out there that people were making a big deal about Doomcock and trying to cite that other people were using the story that he told about Lucas showing up and with Dave and John in putting a financial stake back into Lucasfilm. He was trying to poo-poo it, and like he doesn't want it to happen. Okay. Um, my thing is, okay, what are you missing here, dude? Right. We've got Disney up to its ass in debt. Okay. In fact, the mouse is looking up out of a 12-foot hole right now. They're hundreds of billions. They're over $100 billion in debt. Their stocks are artificially high. The investors are getting screwed. There's no real money stream coming in. Their subs for Disney Plus have stagnated. They plateaued. Okay, Lucasfilm is nothing more than a giant cauldron of suck. And the only person who can get the fans back, who can get them to trust them again, is George Lucas. So why wouldn't Bob Chapek, who's a very pragmatic, practical guy, say, we need to go and talk to George? And honestly, I don't give a fuck what anybody thinks. They've been talking to George for a long time. Okay, if you look at The Mandalorian, that has all his little fingerprints all over it. And the fact that the last show was called The Rescue, that was you know, Mazurus and I have had a lot to talk about on that. That title is loaded. There's a lot of subtext to it. It's about rescuing the team, rescuing Grogu, rescuing Star Wars. Okay? And Grogu is, I mean, I'll show you what I mean because people don't understand. So you have the name George Lucas. Oh, come on. Now, see that? Do this. Cross out that. Oh no, leave the G. G-O-R. Flip an R there. So you got grow. Then you take the U. Now, do you see where I'm going with that? He's been a part of this, The Mandalorian, and that whole Favreauverse, since John approached the bosses at Disney saying, I can do better. I can make it work. The idea that he wouldn't want to come back, that he wouldn't be invited to come back, and that he wouldn't consider it is ludicrous. It's absolutely ludicrous. You know, he sold it 2012. That baby that was born is probably what, 8, 9 years old. You know, if he puts financial stuff into it and has a little bit of creative input, it's not like he's there every day, but he's still looking over everything. Okay. So the idea that he wouldn't, it's his life's work. It's his legacy, and they've destroyed it. Or they've tried to. Okay? They've tried to. Think about it. All right, why wouldn't he come back? So why wouldn't you at least give a little thought when you know everything else that's going around on with Disney itself, not just Lucasfilm, when you know what's going on, why wouldn't Disney approach him? Again, they're in a financial cul-de-sac. The streaming service is bogged down. The parks aren't making any money. They've literally had to stop expansion everywhere. Why wouldn't they? All right, they've left billions of dollars on the table because of what Kennedy's been allowed to get away with. And they need to finally make Lucasfilm move along and earn money. So why wouldn't he come back? Why wouldn't he consider it? It's his baby. You know, you have to think about from an accountant, money guy's point of view. Well, they said great things were going to happen, and just wait, it's going to be awesome. Next Star Wars celebration. Okay. The 26th of May, 25th, 26th of May. I'm going to say this. A lot of shit's going down. A lot of shit we weren't supposed to be told about till then. And the reason why it's been facilitated or implemented, the things that we know now, Filoni's promotion, is because of what happened with Gina. Okay? That was the last straw. And the reaction of the fans was so, took Disney's breath away. Took their breath away. So anyway, I gotta go. All right, I really do. But if anything happens today, or if Doomcock or somebody comes out with another video, I think that's probably gonna happen. But if anything happens today, I'll be back, and I'll probably do another live stream tonight at 8, talking about whatever. Anyway, see you around the galaxy, guys.